Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. It has been a million, thousand, trillion, bajillion, gazillion years since I posted a video here. And I have no excuse, I'm just really bad. But I'm back, that's all that matters. And I'm gonna show you how I did this look. This is just, you know, my typical glam thing that I like to do. So I did it in my new location here in my room, facing a window. When I started this look, there was natural sunlight and now it's dark, so my light is on. Anyways, I hope you have fun watching this video and that I'm able to teach you something. And as always, if you have any questions, message me in the comments below or yeah, on Instagram or whatever. Anyways, take care and watch the video. Like it, subscribe. All right, I'm done. Bye. Okay, to get things started, we are gonna use the Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil to do my brows. Yes, it's an eye pencil, so it's not really supposed to be for your brows. But a friend of mine introduced me to this wonderful hack, and I haven't turned back since. So basically, I start by drawing out the shape of my brow. My brows have not been done in a really long time, so this is a very necessary step. So I draw out the shape. I know it looks ugly, but it's okay. Now we take a spoolie brush and blend. And now it looks even worse. Don't worry, it's okay. We're gonna fix that. Next, we take concealer to clean up the edges. This is the Naked Skin Concealer. I use the shade Dark Warm. And basically I put it on a flat brush and I trace out the outlines of my brows just to make sure the brow shape comes out nicely and clean and not thick and ugly as it looks right now. Then after, when you've done the same thing on the top part of the brow, simply look and adjust as needed. I know brows can be stressful, at least I find that they are, but one tip that I was told, or I should say piece of advice I was told, is that brows are not twins, they are sisters. So if your both brows don't match perfectly, it's totally fine. Don't stress. Now we're gonna take the Anastasia Beverly Hills clear brow gel and simply gonna brush the hair in the direction that it grows to make it look neat and clean and let your brows stay in place. Especially if you have a lot of brow hairs like myself, that comes in handy. Now on to foundation. So here I'm using two foundations, one from Sephora, the 10-Hour Wear Protection Foundation, and the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. I mixed both because I'm running out, so I made do. So I mixed them on the back of my hand, and I am applying it with a beauty blender, my new favorite tool for foundation. I love beauty blenders so much because I find they apply foundation very easily, smooth, blend it very well, and it's easy to get them in the tiny places because you can just squish them up in whatever shape you want, and they do what they gotta do. So you see, that took like 10 seconds. Yeah, so I recommend a beauty blender, especially if you feel like brushes leave your face looking streaky. You definitely don't get that problem with a beauty blender. So now we're gonna take concealer and we're gonna highlight and contour. So highlighting underneath the eyes, on my chin, just up on my cupid's bow, bridge of my nose, and on my forehead, and blending it all out with a beauty blender again. This is essential if you want to contour, which we're going to do right now, or I've already done, basically using the Fenty Beauty contouring stick in the shade Espresso. So now I'm taking this buffing brush that I got from Sephora, I love very much, and I'm blending away. When you're blending, you're cheek contour, I should say. Always blend towards your hair and not towards your mouth, because if you blend it towards your mouth, the line is going to get way too close to your mouth and it's going to look no bueno. It's just not going to look good. And now I use a smaller, different brush for blending my nose contour. I was listening to some good music. I don't know what it was, but it was good. Next, we're going to set all of this with some setting powder. That's the Laura Mercier setting powder. And my thing was completely empty, so I was tapping I was tapping all I could out of there. So setting underneath the eyes, basically everywhere you put concealer, so Cupid's bow, bridge of the nose, and forehead. One thing I like to do is to actually pat in my setting powder first, because I find it really holds everything in place, and then I put the extra on top more loosely that I dust off. And this Laura Mercier setting powder is my favorite setting powder of all time because it's so fine and it just blends into your skin and it just does the job. Now this down here I put to highlight or accentuate my contour. You put a little lightness so that the darkness that you put on top contrasts. Do you know what I'm saying? I know what I'm saying. Do you? This is my powder contour that I use. It's actually eyeshadow from the Jaclyn Hill palette because I've not found a contour that's dark enough in powder form that I like, so that's what I use. It does the trick. And the brush I'm using there is the E4 brush from Morphe. Love that brush. Oh, you know, most of my brushes are Morphe. They're super inexpensive, but they work really, really well. Next, we are moving on to the eyes. So I always start by priming my eyes, always use an eye primer. The one I'm using here is from Morphe, works really well. I like to blend my primer into my eyes a little so that it's not patchy, and also so that it's as clear as possible. So I'm just using a regular eye brush, nothing special. You could also use your finger, but I find the brush helps me do it more precisely. So to start, I'm using the Ring the Alarm palette from the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe Vault collection. And I'm using that orangey shade there as my crease color / transition color. Always important to use one of those when you're doing an eye makeup look because it's the basis. But you have to choose one that matches your skin tone. So I have a warm skin tone, so I'm using like a warmer orange, and that works good on me. If you're more neutral, you'd have to use a different color. So now my look for today is a smoky eye. So I like to build up my smoky starting with brown. So I use like a warm dark brown. So I pat on the color with a dense brush, and right now you see me blending. And I kind of do that back and forth. Here I'm just bringing out the shadow to the outside to make it look a little more winged. But basically I just go back and forth packing, as you see there, and then blending. Blend, blend, blend. I do that 2-3 times until I get it as deep as possible. Now we're gonna intensify it a second time using another Jaclyn Hill palette, that brown shade you see over there. And I'm just gonna pack that onto the brown I had before and blend again. I like packing shadow on because when you swipe it on, it just makes it sheer. So when you pack on, especially dark shades, you give yourself a chance to smoke it out more. And now I just reapplied the crease color one more time just so that we don't lose it, because all that darkness can easily overwhelm it. Now we're taking a darker Jaclyn Hill palette and the darkest brown I have, and we are going to deepen it even more with a tinier brush. I'm going to pack it on, focusing more towards the bottom outer corner of my eye and blending it with a smaller brush to really smoke it out even more. So basically my formula for a smoky eye is start with a light dark color and then build up to your dark black color. You see? I like that, but we can get even smokier, guys. We're gonna do that. Yeah, there we go. That's the black. Let's do this. So I'm gonna take that same tiny pencil type brush and just pack it really in that small little corner and then blend it out very carefully, only to the outer corners of my eye, to really give that full gradient smoky effect. So we still have our browns that we had put before, giving us a smoke around, but then the focused black on the outer corner just really gives you that look. I hope this is making sense to you. If you don't get what I'm saying, it's totally fine. Just message me and I'll explain it to you. So yeah, now we've done with our black. Took a little fluffier brush, blended it out, and I am quite pleased. I wasn't actually going anywhere with this makeup, so I didn't really care to make it too dark. Now I'm taking the second dark brown shade that I used earlier, and I'm simply going to bring that in a bit more into my mid lid, because I like to have a dark shade there in my mid crease, so that when I put my shimmer shade on top, you can see a little shadow behind it. Now we're taking the soft Glam palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm taking that gold shade, which is called Bronze, and I am applying it with a flat shadow brush, and I wet the brush a bit with some setting spray so that the color will really pop. So some shadows are already very pigmented in themselves, but especially when it comes to like metallic shadows like that, you can add some setting spray on it to really make the color come out as much as possible. So I like to pat swipe those shadows on, or more like swipe them on, so that you really get the full color of the shadow. So now I did both eyes, but I forgot to moisturize my lips, so doing that. But I'm not really pleased with the color of the gold. It's too yellow, so I'm taking a warmer gold color from the Ring the Alarm palette, and I'm applying it over to warm up that gold shadow. The shade I took is On Camera. It's called On Camera, but it's also on camera right now. This is my favorite shadow. It's from Ofra Cosmetics. I got it in my Ipsy bag a few months ago, and it is quite amazing. And what happened there is that the shadow broke and spilled all over my desk. So I tried to apply it with a brush. Didn't really work. Didn't come out the way I expected it to, or the way I know it to come out. And that's because even when I received the shadow, they suggest that I put it on with a finger. So that's what I'm doing here. Swiping it on with a finger, and look at that gold. It gives me life. I love it so much. And when you see it in person, it's even more amazing, because it just has the perfect flecks of gold. Like, guys, if you have a gold eye look to do, you need that eyeshadow. Ofra Cosmetics. Link and product name and everything will be in the description, because it is amazing. Now that we're done, I'm simply taking the same crease colors I used before on a pencil brush and lining my under eye with them. I just find that it just makes the eye makeup look more complete when I do that. You don't have to. It doesn't look good on every eye type, so I don't recommend it for everyone. Now I'm taking the brown shade that I used before, just on the outer corners there. And we're lightly joining the upper lash line with the bottom lash line for an all-around smoky look. Now we're gonna do our little inner corner highlight using a nice little shadow from the Anastasia palette again, called Glistening. And I believe I also added some fairy in the middle. Now it's time for lashes. So I put some mascara off camera, and I'm gonna put on these beautiful falsies for you in 3, 2, 1. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, they are so gorgeous. And for the finishing touches, a little bit of blush. A nice little Fenty Beauty highlight in the shade Hustler Baby, applied with a nice soft fan brush from Sephora. And finally, a nice little lip strobe from Huda Beauty. This thing is just beautiful, amazing. One of my favorite products at the end of last year. Used it almost daily for no reason. And we are done. And that's how that's done. It's pretty simple. It took a while because I was filming, but if you do it yourself, it's not that bad. What I want to do is shout out my lashes. These are like my favorite lashes ever. They are called Bon Timoune. They are by BWBCO, my girl Samantha, her collection. She has a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lashes that she sells. I'm going to share the link to her Instagram and to her website somewhere in the comments. Check her out. These lashes, I've used them like at least 10 times already, and they are looking as fluffy as ever. They're not going anywhere. I also want to shout out Ipsy for providing me with this beautiful Huda Beauty lip strobe that I would have never known existed and never tried if it wasn't in my Ipsy bag a few months ago. I love it. And also Ofra Cosmetics for this blush, because also from my Ipsy bag a few months ago. So yeah, that's about it. I'm going to try to post more. I know I always say that. So you know what? I'm not promising anything. You'll see me next time when I pop up again. All right. Take care, guys. Bye. Have a good day.